Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today, we're going to learn about the Pledge of Allegiance. And to introduce this lesson, I want to show you a short video on the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would, please pay attention to the board and watch the video.
Face your parents. Ready? Begin.
All right, that's the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, so I'd like to ask you, have you heard this before? Has anybody here ever heard this before? Where have you heard this? You heard it here at East High School. Anybody else? Where have you heard this? Where have you heard this? You've heard that in the auditorium. In a high school in Kentucky. Anybody else? Where have you heard this? At the soccer field, they said this. Okay, well, this is a very significant pledge that is said in this country. I'm going to read a little bit about the history of the pledge, okay? The Pledge of Allegiance is a short speech that goes, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the United States, it is often recited at public events and is commonly recited in public schools, especially elementary schools. To recite it, school children are meant to stand facing the American flag with their hand over their heart. The Pledge of Allegiance was written in 1892 by a Baptist minister and a socialist author named Francis Bellamy. Bellamy wrote the pledge in part of an advertising campaign for a magazine called Youth's Companion as a way to celebrate the 400-year anniversary of Christopher Columbus's journey to America. Bellamy's original text, however, did not include any reference to God. The inclusion of the phrase, under God, was inspired by a Catholic group called the Knights of Columbus, who added the phrase in their own recitals, and in 1951, they attempted to make it a formal part of the pledge. However, the Pledge of Allegiance was not officially changed to include the phrase until 1954, when Minister George Dougherty recited a sermon about it while President Eisenhower was in attendance. Dougherty and Eisenhower spoke after the sermon, and Eisenhower introduced legislation, or he introduced a law, the next day to modify the Pledge of Allegiance. Since that time, under God has officially been recognized as part of the text. However, many people dispute the allowance of the phrase, under God. It is argued because the pledge is recited in public schools and at public events, it breaks the First Amendment claim of separation of church and state. In 2002, a case was brought to the United States Supreme Court by Michael Newdow, an atheist, who did not want his daughter to recite the words, under God, in the classroom. However, the Supreme Court decided that Newdow did not have the right to bring this case to trial because he was divorced and not the parent with the primary custody of the children. Because of this, they did not have to make a judgment regarding whether it represented a breach of the First Amendment. So there's a brief history of the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, in your country, your home country, do you do anything like the Pledge of Allegiance to show loyalty to your country? You make pledge? You do?
Yes.
What country are you from?
Guatemala.
Guatemala. So what do you do in Guatemala?
We made like all together in one room,
Okay.
and then like we started singing the.
You start singing like the national anthem? Can you show us what you do? Can you sing the national anthem?
I forget it.
You forget it now.
Yeah.
Okay, who else? What country are you from? Nairobi. Okay, so Nairobi's in Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you do in Kenya? You sing? Yeah, so can you show us what do you do? Can you show us? Okay, show us, what do you do? How do you show it in your country? Anybody else? Anybody else? Did anybody notice anything that, what's your name?
Sarah Kisa.
Sarah Kiso? Did anybody notice anything that was similar about what is done in Kenya as well as in the United States when we do our Pledge of Allegiance? What's something that was similar? Huh? Well, one was the hand was over the heart. Anything else? Some of the words? Well, I didn't understand the words, but I could feel it was coming from his heart. Anything else? Somebody told him he should do something. You said he should do what?
Go shake your body.
No, he should stand. Okay, so he stood up, he put his hand over his heart, and that's something that we do with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay? All right. So let's take a look here.